Please find this to be my week 15 uh, project. The idea was to create a program that could perform all of the CRUD um, functions. And so basically what I did is I did something very similar to um, the example that was given in the practice, where I basically took the houses API, and I was able to modify it in such a way so that I can either delete or create from all the expected functions. So I started off again with the similar to what they had created, which was the houses API. Here, basically, you have the houses endpoint, which is the houses API that was used. And then here, basically, you are bringing it in. And then basically, this kind of is telling the program to wait while it fetches all of the current houses and all of the data. And then kind of like how the previous report showed, in case there was a mistake, this would, pop up. Here, I also created one, to kind of post for the houses, because in addition to adding any rooms, I wanted to be able to um, delete and add new houses. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to get the delete function to work, but I was able to get the add function to work. So basically, here it'll fetch, all of the houses and post them. Um, and again, it just basically is waiting for it to be able to post them. And then uh, um, here, of course, we're using kind of the put function. And so, kind of the same process as the top. And of course, I'm just exporting the house API. The different components. I have the house list, which is very similar to the previous house list. I imported, the appropriate other components that I needed. And then here I'm going to export the house list. Well, let me move to the app. The app basically pulls the house list, and that's pretty much the main function of the app. The house list basically imports the house API, the new house form, um, and here, I expose or export the house list. And so then, of course, here's where you're kind of bringing in the current houses. Uh, and and puts it in an array, and then um, again, you're fetching the houses, um, and you kind of setting the set state. Um, Here, you're kind of updating it. The houses, and then in case here's where I kind of changed a little bit of the code, where basically you'll be basically adding a potentially a new house. So we try to read to see if there's a new house, and then it would incorporate it into the array. And then of course here's it kind of renders the kind of the house list. So here I added a new house form, and then here's the previous house. So this is the one that was originally there, but I wanted to add the new house form kind of at the top so that it looked a little bit better to the user. And so then the house, of course, I imported the new room form. So this is the one that previously was there in the example, which was, adding the room. And so again, you're exporting the house. And then of course you have your constant, which you're declaring to be the house, and update house. And of course, this is your delete function. And then it updates it. Once it's been deleted, you add a new room. And then of course, then it'll update the actual house once you delete the room. Here, basically it's the you creating kind of the list, and then so then kind of like the little table basically. So you can add the room name and then the area so that it um, adds it once you submit it. And then of course you have a delete button that you wanted to have on there. And then of course this is the return function. So you have the house name plus the rooms plus the ability to delete the room. And then this is bringing in the new uh, the other component, new room form. Okay, and then of course, here's the new room form, which again, very similar. You have your constants, you name to set a name for the the name of the room and then the area. And then kind of this is where you handle the input. Um, and basically once you submit it, this is the function that once you hit the submit, it'll add the house. I'm sorry, the room and the area. And of course, here's the output. Basically, it says add new room. You have your text, your set name, your set area, and then of course the submit button. The one that I added was the new house form. Basically, you have your constants new house form. And again, this one is just going to be the name. I didn't really add any kind of area or anything else to it. And then of course, once you hit the submit button, you of course, you're going to print out add the new house. And if there's a mistake, it'll give you the invalid. And then of course you're going to return. I kind of changed the font a little bit to add new house, and then of course add in the house, and then plus the submit button. And I think that covers all of my components. And then finally, this is kind of the end product here. So here, basically, you can add a new house, and then you kind of add the house, and it'll pop up down here. And then you can add, let's say, like a kitchen, and let's say 300 square feet or whatever you want to do. And then, of course, you pop it up, and then it does for all of these. So the function was working fine. You can delete it as well, and then that delete button works as well. This is the end of this.